This is John McAllister with the McAllister Scouting Report. And today in Coach's Corner, we're going to visit with newly hired Ohio Northern University offensive coordinator Jim Cordle. Jim Cordle has Ohio ties. He grew up in Lancaster, Ohio. He played for the Ohio State Buckeyes. He went to graduate school there. Then he coached at Urbana, and then he moved to Long Island, and now he's back at Ohio Northern. As he says, coaching is coaching, and he enjoys it. He just enjoys he's intelligent. He enjoys studying the game, and he is the offensive coordinator. He'll have his chance to create his own offense and offensive plays, and exciting for him. I'm looking forward to the interview. He is quite a class act and a good friend of mine. Thank you. Enjoy watching my video podcast with Jim Cordle. Today is Jim Cordle. Okay. He's an Ohio State guy who
Ohio Northern had been a good program when I was in high school, and since then, and I had known of Coach Paul, heard a lot of good things about him. Didn't know him a ton, but actually at the Ohio High School clinic, I got to just kind of by chance spent a couple hours with him Friday night of the Ohio High School coaches clinic. And in the meantime, Devin Russell was getting ready to go to Davenport, so he called me a week later and asked me if I'd be interested. And and I just come from an FCS program, but he, to me, it's coaching football and is coaching football and being at a good place with good people, and then Ohio Northern, obviously, there's a lot of great things about it, right? There's a lot of reasons I'm here, but to be in the area with family was huge to me.
Okay, that's good. Before you came to Ohio Northern, you were at Long Island University. Tell me how you got there.
Yeah, just obviously spent time with the New York Giants, so the East Coast ties, and playing at Ohio State had a connection that way, and at the time Urbana had shut down, so it worked out. Sometimes
you were at Urbana what, 3 years?
Yeah, I was at Urbana for 3 years. It closed down. I had some calls right away from some schools, but just said, hey, let me see how this thing goes, and and then all of a sudden an FCS opportunity popped, which at the end of the day it was kind of like Urbana closed down, and then get a chance to to coach at an FCS program, which was pretty cool.
Right. FCS being a higher, just under FBS, right?
Yeah, and
okay.
And now it's FCS. Yeah, it's really not it's not as big a jump. I mean, really, I look at the top 25 programs, and then you've got from there the drops. There's a big drop, and then really, if you look, I mean, to me, if Group of 5, FCS, Division 2, Division 3, those lines of they're not. It's a big drop off from Ohio State to Group of 5 teams, and then after that, the drop off's not as big.
Right. Okay, now, and I think I picked you up, and one of the first times I saw you was along the sidelines at Ohio State, and you were a scrawny little offensive lineman from Lancaster. Okay, and then you went to Ohio State, and you GA'd at Ohio State, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and then you were able to get a shot with the Giants. But let's go back. Let's go back and talk about the Giants real quickly. What draft were you? Second round, or what were you in the draft with the Giants?
Oh, I wish I was a second. No, I was a free agent.
Oh, were you? Okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't remember. I got 2005 right. Oh, I think that's when you were at Ohio State, right? In there.
Yeah. So I graduated from Lancaster in 2005. I can think back to being a junior at Lancaster, and actually you called Coach. I was in Coach Carpenter's office. You had called, and he put me on the phone with you. I remember you're saying, hey, you're one of the best linemen in the state. You and Alex Boone, and so that was kind of the first time I got to.
When McAllister says you're one of the best, it's true.
Yeah.
You go on Twitter, you got all these experts, but when McAllister says it, it's true. Okay, all kidding aside, I got off and joked a little bit. Now, here's one of my first questions. Okay, you played at Ohio State. You played on by the way, a Super Bowl team in the NFL, the New York Football Giants, and then but you have all this experience. Why Division II? Why FCS? Why not go after the big schools, coaching jobs?
Yeah, I mean, right. Well, so coaching is, a great profession. And I just, there's a quote from Jim Tressel, right? Be great where you are. So that's my goal. Just be great where I am. I was fortunate to get an opportunity to be a graduate assistant coach at Ohio State, 2015, 16. And then an opportunity came at Urbana where I wasn't going to have to move. I had one son. My wife was pregnant, so having that okay, now go do it, right? Go be a coach and have an opportunity to run a group, recruit, and then actually get to run the offense at Urbana too. So was a great opportunity, loving it. And then the FCS opportunity popped open. Was there 2 seasons? We weren't retained, but now to come back and so after that experience, this I had some coaches call, at Division I, Division II. It's coaching's coaching. Football is football. Right. I wanted to be, Ohio Northern specifically with location-wise with my family was perfect, but be with good people, be at a good program, to be able to recruit to Ohio Northern with the outstanding academics and results that Ohio Northern produces with students that come through here. So it's again, be great where you're at. The Jim Tressel quote, and enjoy my time so far at Ohio Northern.
And Jim Tressel also said to me back in December when he said he always tells coaches it's not where you coach, it's who you coach for. And I think that's huge too, But okay, then let's go back to, let's take that one step. How does that, I think you have tremendous patience. I've watched you, I've just talking to you over the years, and we joked earlier, but how is that where you've been going to transfer to working with offensive linemen and being at Ohio Northern?
Yeah.
Okay. How's that going to be? What is your personality that's going to help you relate to those guys?
Yeah. Being able to relate to, to recruit. Obviously, the linemen, having played the position, but then those great experiences of coaches. I've had great coaches, even back in Pee Wee. But what I tell recruits is, I've had these experiences, had different coaches. I try to take the pieces from each coach, and then beyond that, I love to study the game and learn as much as possible. And so then I want to give guys tools, and try to figure out what's best for them. Each guy, coach each guy a little bit differently, right? There's not just say, hey, there's only one way to do this, and this is how you have to do it. And just because I've, been in there, been around great coaches, have seen it,
Right.
Seen really good players at all levels. Being able to just kind of, coach each guy and get each guy to maximize his ability through all my experiences that way.
And let's go one more on that with Ohio Northern, or I think Ohio Northern's closing the gap. Obviously, Mount Union's really strong, and John Carroll. Well, I think Ohio Northern, and plus the other thing, I always say, if you're good enough, they'll find you. Okay.
Yeah.
And pro scouts come through Ohio Northern. They come through. If you're good enough, if you can develop kids good enough, who knows? If you get the right kids. And I think that's huge. It's not so much if you're good. I always think it's not so much where you are, if you're good enough, and if you can do that and relate to the athletes. That's what I guess, Jim, I was trying to get through, is that you've had good success as far as a player and you coaching. Now you're going to be able to relate to the kids, or I call them kids, Ohio Northern Polar Bears, because you can, that you can relate to them. But that's huge, I think. Okay, let's talk about, we talked about patience, and then now your dad was a teacher, right?
Yeah, both parents.
Both parents. And he taught special education, I think.
Yes.
So you obviously, and I was a teacher as well and taught English, but you've learned some patience from your dad.
Yeah. His, our personality kind of,
but I mean,
we don't let things, we can have patience and not let things, bother us too much. He definitely, that definitely helped him with some of his students over the years, with some of the, because it was now emotionally disturbed.
Right.
My dad, we have similar personalities in that regard. So,
but your mom still runs the show, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, my mom.
Let's make that clear. Okay, the other thing is, you've never asked me, but I know you put on a bowling program down at Lancaster, right? Lancaster, I think it is.
Yeah,
that's where it is. But you've never asked me to bowl in it. But I can bowl a 215 and a 115 within 2 hours. Okay. 215, I think I'm the coolest guy. Then I can bowl a 115 and throw gutter balls. Tell me about the program that you have down there, and hopefully you're going to get it started once COVID stopped it, you said. Yeah. Tell me about the bowling program in a couple minutes.
Yeah, really cool event, bowling with Buckeyes. I did it before my senior year in the summer. My parents, special ed teachers, wanted to, give back to the community, use the platform. So we had an outstanding event first year. We had like 30 guys from the team come down that year and have a blast. It all went to Fairfield County DD Special Olympics.
That's what you went to, right?
Yeah. So that first year, it all went directly to them. Then I went to the Giants. Wanted to bring it back. Okay, let's start a 501c3, and we could expand a little bit. So the majority over the years, has still gone to Special Olympics now. To every group, there's multiple groups in Fairfield County of Special Olympics groups. And then we wanted to give scholarships to high school students that demonstrated community service. So we've been able to do that, and then have a free youth camp, Brian Sampson Memorial Youth Camp. Coach Sampson was
for football.
Yeah. So Coach Sampson was one of my football coaches, passed away from cancer. So we wanted to have a free youth camp in his name. So we've been able to do that now. Then COVID shut things down. So it's not easy. I have a group of just volunteers.
Right,
it's very, it's, and we have those events, and those events can be a lot of work to get to. And so, COVID shut it down. And so we're going to attempt to bring it back at some point, but and it's not easy right now, but we have, it's been very cool to do with Buckeyes.
And rewarding, for heaven's sakes. Again, you never invited me to come down to football camp, but that's okay.
Well, it was a third to sixth graders.
I'm just joking with you.
You could probably get some good evals.
Off the record, really quickly, two of my oldest two went to Ohio University. I mean, now they've got that bypass around Lancaster, but I used to say a lot of bad words going through there on Friday nights. You know that? Boy, that traffic through Lancaster was crazy.
All those stoplights.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, now the bypass is there. Okay, let's go back and talk about how have players changed since you came out of high school. So talk to me a little bit about how high school players have changed. Really, like how have they changed attitude-wise?
Yeah, I think how players changed, there's always the generation questions, all this generation, have they changed that much? I don't know. I think obviously every kid is different, but from a recruiting standpoint, things have changed in that regard. Now they're talking about name, image, likeness for high school students in Ohio. So that could lead to some
crazy
interesting
stuff.
recruiting things there. That kind of landscape, but that's really only at the top of the. So for those guys, for those 4 or 5-star guys, obviously things are changing, right? They're going to be getting NIL deals and recruited in high school. They're going to be getting NIL deals to go to colleges. So how can that not change? How can that not change?
I think you were right earlier, and I'm 73 and I've been doing this a while, but I think for me, if players know that you're honest and loyal, which are two of my strengths, then I think they haven't changed very much.
Yeah.
They may have changed if you let them. Like we have kids, and I think it's the media that helps that blow the recruiting process clear out of proportion. But I think kids basically haven't changed. And honestly,
I agree with you.
I think this will probably get me in trouble, but I think the hardest recruiting sometimes is convincing a Division III or Division II football player that you are a Division II or Division III football player. I think that's hard for you guys.
Yeah, and but I don't know that was different in the in the 70s, 80s, kids.
No, I think it's the same.
Right. So that's kind of been a.
But I think, Jim, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think with the media that has just broadened that field, I think more kids are harder to deal with like that. If I can say that.
Listen, you want, you want kids to be the best that they possibly can to have they should have the dream that they're going to be a Division I player, now, but they got to, you do have to be realistic at some point. And,
Right.
but I think it is starting to swing back a little bit. I think, with in the media, they can see like, okay, some of the numbers that kids are putting out at camps, the 4 or 5-star kids, like, all right, well, here's their numbers, your numbers are way down here. And so just kind of the spreading of information in that way of what it really takes to,
Right.
just requires some of those
I
things.
have, let's see, one more question. This goes, everybody tells me to shoot for 20 minutes only, and it always goes over.
We can go all day.
Coach Trussell got a little long, but that's Coach Trussell. He's a good friend of mine. Okay, we've talked about patience. We've talked about those things that you need. Let's talk about what on an Ohio Northern, what you look for in Ohio Northern or Division III prospects. What do you look for? If you were going to list 4 or 5 things, and obviously you have that, what are you going to look for? I have a boy here, my grandson's 6'1", 200 pounds. Okay. Not big enough to play higher up. But what are you looking for in kids? Prospects.
Yes. Yeah. So we are, we want good players, right? We want good players that have film where they're making plays, right? Because at the end of the day, the size, speed, some of those things that pop, some of the higher levels are gonna see some of those things on film. So they're productive on the field, right? They show some toughness. They show some of those things. But more importantly, at this level, the film's going to be pretty similar. So it's hey, let's target some kids that would look at Ohio Northern and say, yeah, that's would understand what Ohio Northern has to offer academically, right? So number one, that's going to be important. And we have 5, distinguished colleges.
Oh, you do, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, we are, academically, we are, at the top. So that's going to be an important piece of it. And then just, hey, kids that, if kids show interest, show some interest, we have rising senior days. We have camps in the summer. If a kid shows interest, then that's going to be huge. And I think, obviously, again, to go back to the beginning, the talent, the drop, the play of Division III, it's FCS. That's not a huge, at the very top. Yeah, the top 25 programs. That's a big jump. But from a talent standpoint, it's not, it's not as big of a jump. So again, it's just guys that make plays, show toughness on the field, and academics are important to them.
Sounds really good. Okay. Now, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. And I live by, my goodness, I think door to door, about 35 minutes from Ohio Northern, door to door.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's a great program.
Okay, come over.
My last kind of humorous question: what do we expect from the offensive coordinator? What kind of offense are we going to see?
Yeah,
so a minute or two.
Yeah, we're power spread offense, right? I get to train in that Urban Meyer system. But again, it's always about the players that you have. So players, players, formations, plays. But we equate numbers. A multitude of we have access to every run frame. And then we have talented. Right now, we have talented, perimeter guys. We have guys on the perimeter that can run and are big, and so we got to obviously utilize our playmakers. So at the end of the day, you have kind of a power spread RPO, but it's always going to be get the playmakers and whatever our players are good at.
Good. And you hope they all have the want to, right?
Yeah,
You hope
yeah,
they all have
yeah.
the
I mean, we have really good kids. You know, we have really good kids here. Good kids that are bought in and have pride in the program. You know, and that's been been fun to be around.
That's huge, I think.
Yeah.
And Jim, thank you very much for being on this video
Yeah.
podcast.
No, I appreciate it. And we're coming off of Dwayne Haskins, obviously, was tragically killed Saturday. That was, very unfortunate.